Welcome to Survivor NSFW. I'm here with Johnny Fairplay and Matt Bischoff as always, and tonight we are joined by the one, the only. You might recognize her from Survivor China or Heroes vs. Villains, but you probably know her from the breakout band, the Dragonz. It's Courtney Yates. Courtney, how are you?
Oh, just a whirlwind of excitement here in New York during the time of COVID,
So how crazy is it right now? I know a lot of people like Andrea Bolke got out of Dodge and doesn't know when she'll be coming back. And I don't know if you know Michael Snow from my season of Survivor Caramoan, but Michael's in the middle of a move. I know it's been crazy. So kind of give us a little taste of what's happening right now.
I feel like I was built for this, right? Like just built for suffering and endurance. And, I'm here with my little crew and we're sort of here in New York for the long haul. We know like everyone who has anywhere to go is just like, bye. But we're like, what's the problem? This is fine. Like, just,
So are things shut down right now, or is it on lockdown, or how's that working out?
So we are now in phase 3, which is like outdoor dining, and you can you can go places and you can do stuff. You can get coffee, or you can function. It's just like, everyone has been affected, so we're taking it seriously. Like, this is not the place where people are fighting about masks or anything. Like, everyone's just like, yeah, cover your face, like.
So everyone's being cool because, we've discussed this on the podcast a lot. It's like in my town of Ohio, it's like you got the anti-mask people, the mask people, and it's like it's getting old because all we want is for the whole United States and America to get back to normal. And we just saw that Survivor is probably not happening in this year. They just said, hey, which I kind of figured was the case, which is sad because
they hadn't approved the 45% tax breaks but
I think things are going to get even worse. Really, it's summertime and it's like I don't know.
I'm hoping the heat will kill a lot of it, and
summer's half over, fair play, and the heat hadn't done shit.
Well, I'm hoping
every day
it's gotten much worse.
Yeah, well, no, you have idiots being much worse, but I don't know. But I do know that Moderna, I don't know, some crazy stock that I bought a few weeks back in hopes that they would have the cure for Corona, announced that they're entering the 3rd phase of testing next week. And their stock jumped up like 20% today. So, yay, COVID cure.
Oh my God. So Courtney, I feel like what you said before is like, we all play, well, besides Zach, but 3 out of the 4 of us on this podcast have played Survivor. And I feel honestly that it's been easier for me. And I know it's like cheesy to say, but when you're deprived of everything and away from your family and friends and everything else on an island playing this crazy game, that has helped, I think, a slight bit in dealing with the craziness that is COVID.
We were all voluntarily tortured at one point.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
I feel the same way. I did Survivor, and then Corona hit, and I'm just like, deja vu, like. And the people that you are stuck with, you don't like them.
You guys.
What's that?
I said I like the people that I'm with in my quarantine. Do you like your people?
Well, yeah. I like my immediate people, but like the periphery that you can see is very limited.
Let me just put it this way.
My core alliance is strong.
The core alliance is good.
Yeah, but outside of that, I'm ready to vote some people off Corona Island.
Well, speaking of the people you're stuck with, Courtney, if we want to dig into Survivor a little bit, you kick off Survivor China and you're talking about being in the land of lunch ladies and flight attendants and how the hell did you end up there? I would love to know, how the hell did you end up there? What got Courtney Yates to Survivor?
It was a series of strange events. So I was a waitress in New York at the time, and it was the night. It was like a Sunday night. I was working really late, and it was the night of the season before us was Fiji, and the finale was in New York City. So I was just at work, and then Lynn Spellman, the lady who cast everything, brought her friend after that finale to the restaurant I worked at just to eat and hang out. And then it was like really late. These guys were being assholes. And so then like I kind of was letting them be assholes because like who cares? But then this guy said something like, slick to me. And so I was like, oh, actually, you can go fuck yourself. And I like fought with this dude. And then so this woman comes chasing me to the back to the kitchen. And she's like, I've been watching you for an hour. You have to be on my show. And I was like, what is your show? And she's like, it's Survivor. I was like, is that even on? And then, so she was like, no. And like, everyone's laughing at her. Like all the guys in the kitchen were like, mommy, no. I was like, I know, this lady's cuckoo. Like, and then, so finally she was like, well, you can go on a different show then. Like, but just give me your phone number. And so I was like, okay. And like my friend really liked The Amazing Race. And so I was like, oh, I called her. I'm like, we're going to go on The Amazing Race. It was all lies. Like they never were going to do that. But she just wanted my phone number and then called me the next day and was like, hey, remember me from last night? I was 100% serious. Like, I need you to come tomorrow to Los Angeles. Like we're doing casting.
They're already at the finals of casting.
So I didn't go right away. And then I ended up going like, I don't know, like a few days later, they had me come out there. So everyone was already like in the middle of their casting, and then I sort of showed up, and I didn't know anything about it. And so I actually at one point was like, I can't agree to something. I've never seen this show. I don't know what it is. So they sent me the DVDs of the Pearl Islands with Mr. Fairplay on it.
Oh, wow. See, now they just show Michaela. I like reading the bios now. It's just like, what's your favorite season and who's your favorite player? And it's, all these recruits that had never seen the show, and they're like, Michaela. And I'm just like, wow, I don't remember her doing that well. I remember her being a great personality, and I'm sure that casting suggested that you model your game after her. But but yeah, so Pearl Islands was the go-to for China. That's good to hear.
They were like, and then I was like, well, I was like, I'm not going to watch it. And then like my friend was like, what is going on? And I was like, oh, these people want me to be on Survivor. I don't know. And he was like, are you going to do that? You will hate that. And I was like, maybe I'll go. How hard could it be? He's like, you need to watch this. You're going to hate it. So we watched like 2 episodes, and I was like, no way, I'm not doing it. And then they were like, don't say no, wait a second. So then I ended up going to the casting, and then it just went really fast, and then I was like, me shots. I was like, what's happening?
Did you finish my season?
Well, we then were at, I don't remember where, but some other point through China, they had us watch more of Pearl Islands. So I did see the end of it. And so, but I was like, oh, I already watched a couple of these, and now I'm watching it again and whatever. But so that was the one that they showed us. And then I heard from other people that they started showing China to other people. And I was like, oh, you're the Ponderosa, you're the other one they give out.
Wow, there you go. I would have met like China is a great season and holds up. Like, there's so many people binge watching Survivor now, because of the quarantine and stuff. And China's one that really holds up, and thanks to like, it's crazy. So prior, like I like to, as the cool kids say, bone up before a big test. And Zach, insert Blue Chew commercial now. But we in preparation, for the podcast, I like to, go on YouTube and find highlights. And last week we had Denise, the lunch lady, your co-tribesman on Survivor China. And like, I searched highlight, and there was like, like a 2-minute clip, and I was like, well, here we go. And tonight I type in Courtney Survivor, and the multiple videos, but the first one is 16 minutes of Courtney Yates ripping into other people. And so instead of watching with just present company, I yelled to the like, Piper, put down your iPhone, come to the living room now. I was like, you've got to see this. And because Piper's 12, she had, I think you guys are identically sized, Piper currently and you on China. And she's like, I've never seen such a, like, it was like watching a kid discover Christmas for the first time. and she was just like, Dad, this is the greatest Survivor player of all time.
That's strong. That's strong.
Yeah. And she lives with, this one. So.
Yeah.
See where I mentioned you on one of the episodes?
She looks, she goes, the cool girl said your name.
I was like, at least that was funny. And then they left it in. Isn't that funny? They left it in.
I loved it. I loved it. And we did contact, for those of you wondering, the quote in question. So they have the loved ones reward. And we learned that Courtney should be British, but she's not. And
I'm born and raised here. My dad is English.
Yes.
My mother is American, and she went and retrieved one because the Beatles were in fashion at that time. So she went to England and was like, I will select this one, and then brought them back. And that's how my dad is English.
There you go. So during the Loved Ones Challenge, we Todd's brother?
Todd's sister came out.
His other sister.
Yeah.
Yes, Todd's other sister comes for the Loved Ones Challenge, and at the end of their intros, Todd asks his sister, "Hey, how is my other sister doing with the pregnancy?" And she says that she lost, she miscarried, and then Todd said, "You know what?
Hang on a second.
Go ahead."
No, it's not. I'm just like, it's so grim. But
yes. Well, and Todd was like, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. This, as long as she's good, maybe this will, so Todd was looking at the silver lining. Well, this is followed by Courtney going, "Oh my God, performance of the year goes to Todd Herzog. Oh, it's all a lie. I mean, geez, he's doing Johnny Fairplay and the dead grandmother thing, but at least the dead grandmother thing was humorous."
I didn't say it first. I thought it, but I didn't say it. And then Eric Huffman, the nice Christian boy, actually called bullshit on that. And I was like, excellent. Now I can make fun of this.
The door is open.
Yeah, but I was like, but of course, nobody cares what he says. They only like, I'm the mean one.
But you're the mean one. So, but I mean, honestly, like I did a filming of Celebrity Newlywed Game the same day that Eric and Jamie did the show. And it was so crazy. Like after the show, my manager, he shares an office with Pauly Shore at the Comedy Store in LA. And so I was just like, "Hey, do you guys want to come to the Comedy Store afterwards, hang out, free drinks, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "Yeah." And so we go, and like the comedian Bobby Lee is first, and he was very raunchy, and they were a little off put, but they attempted to laugh, And then we were just hanging out front, having some beverages, and someone runs, and they're just like, "Eric, take your friends to the main room now." And so they bring us back, and it was the first public appearance of Dave Chappelle after he went on his hiatus.
Wow.
And so he's in a room. It's me, my wife, Michelle from America's Next Top Model, Eric, and Eric Huffman and Jamie from China, and then my manager, and we're sitting, and probably 4 other people in the room, probably 6 other people in the room. It was insane. And he has his O'Douls, and he's drinking O'Douls, and like every joke, he was worried about being racist, so he would get 5/8 through the joke and be like, "Yeah, I can't finish this one." And it was the worst hour of my like we're like, even like Jamie's like, "Ain't he supposed to be funny?" Which you could do the impression and immensely better, Courtney. We saw on the show you do a very good Jamie impression, but it was so sad. And like it finished with, he comes here just like, "I ain't got nothing." He's like, "Look, what'd you guys do today?" And I was like, "I filmed Celebrity Newlywed Game." He's like, "Oh, what show was you on?" I was like, "I was on Survivor." He's like, "Oh shit, I remember you." He's like, "Can you get me on The Amazing Race? Like me and you, we can do The Amazing Race." I was like, "Yeah, I think that would be great. I'll give them a call." And like the other 6 people are laughing. He's like, "Don't be laughing. CBS got more money than Comedy Central. And I took all of Comedy Central's money they ever had."
I love it. I love it.
So yes, there you go.
So I got a question for you, Courtney. So you had never really watched it, and you get fast forwarded through this whole casting process. You get the vaccinations. You watch some of Pearl Islands.
Yeah.
You get out there. Are you prepared for what's about to happen? Did you just wing it? Like, explain to me kind of like your thought process going into the game for the first time.
Well, my first question was, what does last place get? Right? Like, so they're like, you have to be there for 3 days and you'll get like a little bit of money and a vacation. And I was like, I am fucking sold on that shit. Let's go. And they were like,
$12,500, pay some bills.
they didn't even say that though. They said like $1,000. And I was like, great.
Oh, wow.
For the summer, I got to work anyway. It was like a free trip for like a month and a half. That's great. So,
right.
And then the therapist lady was like, oh, they always vote off like the girl, like in the beginning. So you'll probably be one of the first ones off. And
so Dr. Liza set you up for failure.
Yeah. And
That's fucking crazy that they said that. They actually told you that. That's wild.
I guarantee, but it was just like, she's like, you seem like a fairly like, is this how you want to spend your summer? Like, you're probably not going to do that well. Like, do you want to, like, is this cool? Like, you're going to, and I was like, this is great. So I packed like I was going on a whole vacation. And then, like, I remember my team won the first challenge and I was like, oh, wow, I'm not going to be I can't be the first person off. And then I was like, oh no, I have to stay here for 3 more days. So I was like, I just doubled my trip. I was like, oh, this is terrible. And so I was like, and then like, I think we won the next one too. And I was like, this is just getting out of hand. So then it got to be like the 8th day or something. I was like looking for exits. I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I'm not supposed to be on this anymore. Like, this is too much now. And then I tried to quit on the 9th day. I tried to quit several times. It's not easy. Like, they really talk you in circles. And, I was like, and then I was like, I had a chance to like kind of get out, and then I fell for a trick, and then I was like, I watched the doors close, and I was like, I'm stuck here forever now. Like, I can't. That was it. That was it.
So were you hating it? Like, when you wanted to like get, you wanted to quit, and I'm assuming, did Jeff Probst actually come to your camp and talk you into staying? Because on Caramoan, this dude Shamar wanted to quit. And Jeff Probst actually showed up on the island, which we're like, oh shit. And he's talking him into staying. Yeah. And he ended up staying. And I'm like, well, damn, you're pretty convincing.
On Pearl Islands, when it was me and the 4 girls, like I woke up that morning production, after Burton was voted out, and they're just like, what are you thinking, Fairplay? What do you got? And I'm just like, nothing. I'm like, game over. I was like, it's me and 4 girls that don't want me here. There's nothing to do. Yep. And they're like, come on, Fairplay, like you got this. This is your wheelhouse. And I was like, I got nothing. I'm like, it's done. And I see him on the SOS, and Jeff Probst shows up with champagne. And I'm just like, all right, second wind, here we go.
So you got pep talk back into staying. So who told you to? Yeah, if it wasn't Jeff, who convinced you to continue on with the game?
Me. It was the executive producer at the time.
Yeah.
His name was, and it was because it was like after like I had tried to exit a couple of times, and then the challenge, and it was like I couldn't cut the rope, and I was like, and I sat down on the ground, and I was like, I'm not leaving. I was like, I'm not getting in the van. I'm not going to camp. I'm not going anywhere. Fucking move me. Like, I'm not doing it. And they were like, and then he like comes out like all clean.
Well, the good deal on a challenge is you have everyone there, like peek behind the curtain. What most people don't see is, the challenge is this little corner of the pizza slice, and the outside, the crust is, like 300 production people. So
this channel was a little bit different because we were like kind of in the middle of the woods. So there was 2 things. Anyway, so then they were basically like, he was like, will you please not ruin our show? Like, do you think that they might vote you out? Like, can you just be voted out instead? And I was like, all right. Because it was like the matter of a few hours. I was like, fine. And then I like went back to the camp and I was like to the producers, I'm like, what if they don't vote me out though? Then what? And they're like, don't worry about it. And then you finish and you realize those little fuckers have ears. They know what everyone's doing.
Do they know they ain't voting you out?
Never gonna vote me out. And so I was like, they fucking played me. They played me. Like
I think you're the first person ever to come on our podcast that has literally like begged from day one to go home. That's fascinating to me because most people would die to play and die to go back on. So that's why I love these stories, because then you end up getting called back to play again. I mean, was there ever a time where you like broke down, like crying, like by yourself, like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore?
Yes, that was the day. I did that several times, but I put a hat over my face and I threw up the middle finger so they couldn't use it on TV, because I was like, I don't want me crying.
Nice.
Like, this is embarrassing.
I mean, like, and the ownership of the television. I mean, like there's a reason that you're the narrator of Survivor China. I mean, you understood how television worked. I mean, like, you know, there's a narrator every season for a reason. Like, you know, those people aren't picked because they're just like, oh, maybe they'll tell a shitty story. It's just like, you know, like these story, like I feel like they there's a love-hate relationship with the villain narrator for a season, because they're just like, oh. Like,
you know, they did say to me too, they're like, don't you see, you make fun of these people, and it's like, we want to make fun of these people. We
I do, Courtney. You're already one of my favorite guests of all time. I mean, literally, like I knew when I would always see Lex Vandenberg, which is one of my favorite dudes on the planet, coming and visiting you. I'm like, man, this chick must fucking rule. And now, like 20 minutes into talking, I'm like, yeah, this fucking chick rules.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, totally. But yeah, it was a very, and then it became a joke, like a running joke, because I just kept being there, and then they'll be like, do you think it could be you tonight? And I was like, I will be the last fucking person to leave this place. I will die here. You'll all go back to America, and I'll just be rotting in this swamp. And I was like, and they'd be like, ha ha ha, yeah, and like walk away. And I'm just,
well, Courtney, you did almost win. At what point did the game become real for you? When did you turn it on?
Was it changing the focus of trying to leave to attempting to send Jean Robert home every 3 days? Is that what finally steered you to playing the game?
That was just recreational for me.
Okay.
But no, it was Todd, you know, who is like, he was such a fan of this game that I had like never, you know, and so like together we made a really good pair, because he was 22, but he was like a Utah 22, right? So yeah. He didn't really.
He's
and
12.
Then I was 6, but I was in New York 22, right? So like,
yeah, so you're 48.
Yeah, so like I have seen some shit. So like he knew so much about Survivor, but then he was like I was able to like guess what everyone was going to probably do.
Life.
So, like, here's the parameters, and I'm like, well, these are the moves. Like, yeah. And it meant so much to him. Like, and at first it was off-putting to me, because I was like, oh, he's crazy. Like, who cares that much, you know? And then I was like, oh, I kind of like him. Like, I want him to win. So it was the 12th day, and I used to like lay in this one spot, and he came over and was sitting there, and I was like, Todd, do you want to win this? And he's like, yeah. And then I was like, all right, come on, me and you, fuck it. I was like, fuck all these people. And I was like, so my little brother told me after it was all over, he was like, you know, I'm proud of you. Not because it was ever your dream to win, but because it became your dream to take away the dreams of other people. And I was like,
I do love destroying the dreams of others. That's like one of my favorite hobbies.
Oh, dude, the true villains right here. I love it.
You lost to me. You have to live with that. I didn't even try. How about that? Okay.
I love it. I fucking love it. So wait, what initially spurned the hatred of Jean Robert? Because in the history of Survivor, if they were to do a rival season, I mean, you have plenty of people that you don't like, and I would imagine by proxy don't like you. But I think it's safe to say that your biggest you're the Superman to your Lex Luthor is definitely a Jean Robert.
Don't call him Superman.
I didn't.
I don't know. He just was like, I don't know. He was really annoying and like very like there was like an amount of just like delusion that could not pass unremarked on. Like you had to point it out because the whole thing it was just ridiculous. Because like you have James, remember James, like the actual Superman,
Yes,
who was like excellent at everything. And then like Todd was so clever, and then we had the other generic, Aaron, who was like a lifeguard with his like veneers and just like, and then you have this clumsy poker player guy who just kept like classing himself among like the top athletes
as the elite.
What? Like, and no one was saying anything, and I'm just like,
you were.
well, yeah, I was, I guess, but it was like he was so like, and I think I was at the time I was a waitress, and like he was a professional poker player, right?
Yep.
So he was in the habit of just sort of like giving orders and instructions and things, and I was like, what planet are you on that you think anyone is listening to you right now? Like, I don't know. It was just like a very, it was like, but they find on purpose, like they find people to like clash with your personality, right? So it's like they knew that it's like, I'm not going to be able to let that go. Like, I'm going to have to say some slick shit,
Now, were you aware like that, like when you watched it back on TV, were you aware of like how you're going to be perceived to the viewer when you were doing your confessionals? Because Johnny went into the game with, I want to get on television and I want to be the biggest villain and the biggest bad guy in Survivor history, right? So you didn't really give a fuck about the show at all. You're just like, I want to get $1,500 and a free month and a half vacation. So,
but it also seemed that you understood television, though. Like,
well, I think like I have three brothers, and everyone in my family is very like funny and just like takes shots endlessly. I'm not even the funniest person at the table with my people. So like, it's just, this is how we all interact with each other, So, I mean, I did, to answer your question, I kind of knew by the end because like, about like how I was going to be put on there, because the production was just like, they were funny. I'd be like, well, I'm sure they're a nice person. And they're like, why do you even waste our time? We're not going to show you saying that. Just get to the
wow.
I love it. Because the villains are always my favorite players. I mean, as a fan of the show, I mean, there's definitely hero type players that I like, but I've always been a fan of players like you or Abby Maria or Johnny Fairplay or Coach or Russell Hantz.
Heroes have a filter. Filter's not good television.
It's not.
Well, I think heroes on Survivor, all that means is that you're good at camp. That's it. It's like you go get water and you make a roof and then you're suddenly a hero. But like they do asshole shit too. They're just not as funny.
Yeah.
And more helpful. That's it.
Well, speaking of that, Courtney, are there any one-liners or any comments you made that you did regret watching back on television?
I mean, like,
I love it. No, you're good.
Yeah. What can you do? Like, it's there. Like, we all like. I'm sure I could talk my way out of something if I had to, but.
Yeah. So for the record, as far as the Todd sister miscarriage thing, that was a question like 2 weeks ago on our Patreon Q&A. And if you've thought about, becoming a patron, it's the best way to support the podcast. You go to patreon.com/Survivor NSFW, links wherever you're watching this or listening to this for the Patreon. And one of the Q&As was, do you think Todd was lying when Todd's sister was lying when she said that? Courtney called BS immediately. And so in the middle of the Q&A, I called Todd and I was like, hey, Todd, am I catching you at a bad time? And he was like, no, well, kinda. Like, is it important? I got like 1 second. I was like, yeah, did your sister really miscarry? And he was like, yep, she did. And I was like, okay, thank you. So yes. So if you're wondering what kind of awesome exclusive content that you're missing out on, in the middle of a Q&A, I will call Turd Hazard.
Turd Hazard.
Yes. New t-shirt. Holy moly, we have a new t-shirt. Turd Hazard.
Oh, that was funny. That was probably the funniest shit I've ever.
I'm just excited about a new t-shirt.
Dyslexic motherfucker.
Eric Huffman is the one who called the BS first, remember?
Yes, yes.
So, that was in the show, but nobody cares because he had the cute mop of hair and was like, "Aw, shucks," and he like men don't get in trouble for anything. So okay.
Well, he does. I mean, God doesn't allow him to get in trouble, so it's okay.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
One other comment that stands. Sorry, go ahead, Johnny.
Was that Eric? So Eric and Jamie, cutest couple of all time.
Yeah, you obviously. You've seen Tess and I, right? Fuck.
Well, you guys aren't cute. You guys are like sexy as fuck. we'll get to Courtney and Stephen Fishback and that.
Ooh. What were we gonna say?
Courtney, I was going to ask one other somewhat controversial, hilarious moment on the season is the quote that Jean Robert has: "The only thing better than $1 million is $1 million and some ass." How big of a role did that play in your view on some of your tribe mates, or was that just funny editing the way they worked that in?
No, I think in 2007 it reads as, "Oh, Courtney's such a bitch," "Oh, she's a villain." But now when like the woke children of Reddit read that back, they're like, "Oh, he's harassing them and I'm defending myself, but in a way that is like socially acceptable in 2007, which is to, like fight back a little bit, but you can't be like, this is harassment. Because like now there's a whole conversation about Me Too and harassment and things that go on. But back then the culture was, yeah, that's right. They can say that shit about you right in front of your face. And so that scene was actually edited. They had the reaction of me and Todd overhearing something, which was not that conversation. It was a much worse conversation. And then they edited in that conversation, which I didn't hear until I saw it on TV, which was a G-rated version of what I had actually heard. And so to be serious about it for a second, that did play into it because I felt unsafe. And so I went to the production and was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here with these people saying this stuff about me.
Wow.
I have to go home. I don't want them to hear this being said. I don't want this to be a part of my life. Like, I don't feel like, what are you doing? Like, this is like, what am I supposed to do? And they were like, well, and that's why I had the finger over, the whole thing. Because I was like, this is not, I know how this is going to go. And then they kept like, they wanted to play up the rivalry, right? And they were like, can you say that you're going to outlast blah, blah, blah? And I was like, no, I'm not going to say it because then if I don't, then it turns into I failed. And I was like, this is not about that. Like, this is something different. I don't like it, What
was the non-G-rated conversation?
I'm actually not going to repeat it, but
I can say this, because in the 16 minutes of you berating others, highlight video on YouTube, you do see, the parts of the conversation, with Jean Robert, and you following, and it does not hold up well in 2020. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, I mean, because like I'm a big fan of wrestling, and you watch like stuff from wrestling like '86, you're like, holy moly, that is not good. And in Survivor, you think is this wholesome family show, and for the most part, it is. And then you have moments like that. It's just like that didn't work, or especially doesn't work now.
But if you look at it, it's like I was then what? So I like and then there was another scene where Todd and Amanda are fighting with me, and they're like, Todd, was like, bitch, maybe it's you next or whatever. And like we were actually friends, but basically there was other things that happened off the camera where I got screamed at by him for saying, slick shit that everyone laughed at in tribal council. Oh, bad boy in your motorcycle. So then I got screamed at. Nobody said a word. Everyone just let him yell at me. Okay. And then, so the next day they're like, are we going to talk about this? And I was like, no, you guys aren't my friends. I was like, if you're my friend, you're going to stand up for me when someone shit. And I was like, you're not my friend. Who the fuck told you you're my friend? Like, you know, like I dislike other people more than I dislike you two, but like, let's be clear, you're not my friend, you know, like this is not okay. And, so that got edited. I'm a big bitch. And then I was literally put on the villains team. Do you know what I mean? Like literally the villains team for saying and like handling that in the best way that was available to me at the time, which was like, I tried to exit the situation. That didn't work out. So then it's like, all right, fine. Fuck it. Like, I'm just going to keep poking back and I'll make you look like such a clown on TV there. Like, but at the time, think about it too, where I came from, I was a waitress in New York City.
Yeah.
I deal with from fucking clown dudes. Like that's how I got cast on the show.
Yeah.
With some guy saying,
So that was like money to like Lynn Spillman. Like when that shit was happening, she's like, this is why I wanted Courtney Yates on the show.
Yeah.
Because you're just being you, right? Like that's what people always say. Like, how do I get cast on Survivor? It's like, look, you need to be who you are and apply your real life to the game of Survivor. And that's all you're doing is your experience living in New York and being a waitress and just being a feisty chick. And that you were just you on the show.
Yeah, but that, I mean, it doesn't make it okay to be harassed, but it's
no, not at all.
Said, it doesn't hold in 20. I mean, like, you know, I have sexist lines I say on Pearl Islands, which was from 2003, but the lines I say, I'm actually quoting Andy Kaufman from when he had he used to wrestle women in Memphis, Tennessee. And so I was quoting Andy line for line, and like, you know, like right, Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul, like him and David Carlson were watching Survivor at that time, and like Bob called me, he goes, do you know what you were doing? And I was like, is this a trick question? And he was just like, you were quoting Andy Kaufman. I was like, I know, line for line. like, you know, I didn't come up, you know, when it comes to scrubbing the floor, peeling potatoes, you know, women are superior to men. But, you know, when it comes to things like thinking, men are vastly superior. Unless it's a getting pregnant contest, there's no way they'll win. So, but that was Andy, like line for line. And, you know, because I had someone tweet me 2 days ago. They're just like, oh, you know, are you still saying sexist things in 2020? And I'm just like, dude,
yeah, I am. Yeah.
Do your homework. Like, it was 2003. I was playing a character. It's no secret. I went out there and played the character of Johnny Fairplay. I played the role of a villain purposely. And I quoted who I consider one of the greatest villains ever, Andy Kaufman, wrestling women in Memphis.
Yep. Well,
but I think there's a difference between what John Robert, like I think John Robert was that he was bringing his Vegas ethos to China and letting you know where he was in the pecking order and where he saw you on the outskirts of it.
Also, everyone else is playing a game, and so even if it bothered them, they were not willing to sacrifice their position or strategy or whatever. And so, like, okay, well, then you're not my friend, but okay, like, I don't care. And the thing is, like, I don't know, I didn't care that much. Like, and then even in the end, when people are like all traumatized from it, like the therapist too said to me, she's like, no, this is hard for a lot of people. Not you seem okay, but other people, this is like emotionally taxing.
So do you feel that you had an advantage, Courtney, going into the game, like not really giving a shit? Like, you know, some people go in as these super fans, like myself. I played fans versus favorites too. And I was just like, oh my God, we're at tribal council and holy shit, this is Jeff Probst. Like as a fan, I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm playing Survivor. And if I went back to play a second time, that experience that I had the first time, that would be kind of gone. I'm like, I've been there, done that now, and I would be more focused on just playing the game, etc. So do you think that you not ever seeing it and not giving a shit gave you an advantage to make it as far as you did on China?
I mean, I don't know. I think in the way that you're asking, yeah, it didn't really, like, I didn't have that, like, mental burden that I'm bringing with me of like, oh, I want to live up to my own idea of what this is, or like this means something to me. It was like, here's some random bullshit that I'm going to do that will be a hilarious story for 5 minutes, and then I'll just go about my life and no one will care. And I literally thought to myself, can I look like an asshole on television for 1 hour in exchange for, yes, I can do that. That's fine. So that was my thing. And then it all just turned into,
it's turned into a big part of your life. I mean, like you get asked to play again. When you watch China on TV for the first time, were you pretty pumped? Like your family, I'm assuming, is excited to watch with you. Like, what was your initial thoughts watching it back?
I watched with my friends in the city. My family lives in Boston. If you don't know, I'm from Boston. My family mostly didn't even watch it. They were like, "This is the dumbest thing."
Really? Wow. Another fascinating thing.
They were like, and they kept. But I didn't. Here's the other thing, you guys. I didn't tell anyone how I did.
Yeah, same.
So my dad and my brother who drove my dad to the airport knew that I was in the final 6 or whatever. But besides that, I didn't know, and I didn't tell anyone when I came home. So my friends every week we threw a party, and they all thought that was the week I was going home. And then I just kept not going home. And also, if you remember, I didn't play half of the challenges. I didn't do anything. And my brothers were like, "How are these people not getting rid of you? You are useless." And I'm like, I don't know.
Did you not tell, at the finale, did you not tell anyone?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. My mom had no clue. And so so she's there, and I'm the first villain that wanted to be a villain. So, I embraced that role on television, but as a result, the live audience for the finale hated me. So when I'm voted out, they're cheering, it's the greatest moment on the season. And my mom is just in tears because she had no clue.
I had my dad and my brother in the audience, and they were reading the things, and it was down to the two of us, and my brother was like, "Does she fucking win this?" It's and then I was like, I didn't have to do that, but it was look, it was a really weird thing that, and now here we are all these years later. I have all these fun people in my life. It was, so all in all, fun experience, but very unexpected.
Courtney, looking at that final tribal council, we talked to Denise about this a little bit last week and how Amanda seemed to have thought she might have won. Was it clear to you that it was Todd, Courtney, Amanda in that order, or what were your thoughts leaving that final tribal?
I thought it was going to be Todd, Amanda, and then I would get no votes. And so for me, I thought it was my goal was to just beat all of the other people, right? So those two were my friends, and I was like, let's all go together. And then I don't know if Denise even knew about this, but Amanda won that last challenge, and so she got to essentially pick, and she wanted to have this is my cat, by the way.
Yeah.
He's just being an asshole.
What's his name?
His name is Thaddeus.
Nice.
If he comes close, I'll put him up on the screen. But so Amanda wanted to vote out Todd and bring Denise, and I was like, "Look, I'll do whatever you want to because whatever." But I was like, "But we're gonna lose to her because they hate us. We need to have 3 people they hate. All 3 of us are in our 20s. We have no kids. They hate us equally. We all have to go and sit next to each other. If you give them the option, they're gonna throw all their money to her because she didn't do anything bad to anybody, and she has children and blah, blah, blah." And I was like, it's suicide note. And so she and then she lost to Todd and me. How horrible, right?
Wow.
But I lost to Denise too. I really think that those other kids would have given it to her.
I think so too.
If there's 2 people and then there's a separate person, the separate person always wins because they split between the 2 that they hate. And I was like, they hate all 3 of us. We all made them look like clowns. The littlest people,
Yeah. So after you play Survivor the first time, do you have any thoughts in your head about, oh my God, like they're going to call me to play again? Or were you just over it and done?
They called me for the fans and favorites one that Johnny was on.
I wish you had taken my spot.
The day after the China premiere, and they were like, was that fun watching it with your friends? Do you want to do it again? And I was like, you sound like drug dealers. Like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, no. And so I was like, no, leave me alone. I don't want to do this. And then it would start the whole thing again. And so I ended up emailing, and I was like, no, thank you. Because I'm like, if they keep talking to me, my ass is going to be back somewhere on a goddamn island before, like, I got talked into it once. And so I was like, no. And then they asked me for the Heroes and Villains a couple of years later. And at that point I was like, oh, okay. And they told me too, they were like, it's not like China, it's easier, there's bananas. It's not like.
So was the food, like, because you were a small girl, what was the food and starvation a problem for you when you played?
In China, there was nothing. Like, it was the old school of Survivor where we didn't have fire for like weeks, you know, and we had rice, which Todd was like, that's bad. If there's rice, that means there's no food here. And I was like, that's ominous. And there was nothing. So there was like little limes off of a tree that you could eat, and but you had to eat the peel and stuff. And then there was like, we started catching like shrimp in like a shrimp trap, and they were like this big. And I mean, everything was just, it was so bleak and miserable. And then even when you won an award, like a reward challenge, they were like, here's a boiled catfish. And you're like, oh God, this sucks. Like, everything is so gross here.
Didn't you start saying there's like poisonous snakes like all around like the edge of the lake?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was so many snakes that, and I used to be afraid of snakes until I went on Survivor, and then I just had to give it up because I was like, I just don't have the time in my day to be afraid. I have to just like get over it. But so there were so many snakes that they would be like, oh, if it's black, yellow, red, it's poisonous, but if it's red, yellow, black, then it's fine. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, no. And then they had to get a snake wrangler to walk in front of us because we had to hike really, really far to get everywhere. So they had a guy with a hook, right, to like grab the snakes from the path and fling them into the woods. And I was like, that was fine. This is.
Wow, that's crazy because usually they show snakes at tribal council, but they're all just like placed there. You actually had real snakes, which is crazy. So which season was harder? China, like as far as the elements, was China or Heroes Villains harder?
China. Heroes and Villains was like summer camp. So the other thing about that, Johnny, if you can speak to it too, like going the All-Star one, it's like everybody's done it before. You're just clocking in for a shift at work. Everyone knows how it goes. You're all just like moving really fast. Whereas like the first time when we did it, it was like everyone was pretty sure we were going to die. You know, like it was like you were in fear. You were in fear of your life. And we had, because we were all getting so thin, like no matter who won, it was like a democracy of like picking who was going to go on the next reward, because it was like, Amanda hasn't eaten in 2 weeks. She has to go. Take her with you. And so it's like you took whoever needed to eat the most to go. That was how different it was. And then the other one, it was like the villains team just imploding. Everyone's trying to vote each other off, but we keep winning so no one can go. And it was like Russell buried our machete so we couldn't start a fire. And like, but jokes on them, the villains did camp work anyway, so we didn't even look for it.
And now we'll take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Magic Spoon. Let me tell you, I'm about to turn 30 years old. It's about that time I start cutting down on carbs, sugar, unhealthy food, and all that shit. I realized I basically can't eat anything anymore. That's where Magic Spoon comes in. Tell them about it, Johnny.
Oh, man. 0 grams of sugar, 11 grams of protein. That's right, 11 grams of protein and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. What am I talking about? Magic Spoon. 4 delicious flavors previously: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. What was my favorite? It was the frosted. But boom! What am I looking at right now? This is the greatest week of my life. I'm looking at brand new peanut butter Magic Spoon and honey nut. Oh man, tomorrow I'm having both. I am so excited. I'm breaking all the rules. I mean, you heard me correct. 0 grams of sugar, 11 grams of protein, only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. It's keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, low carb, and GMO free. and taste amazing. The most important part, honestly, too good to be true. You can join me. Be like just me. Try those new flavors as well. Where do they go, Zach?
Go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab a variety pack and try it today. Be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to get free shipping. And Magic Spoon is so confident in this product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked, but you're going to like it. That's magicspoon.com/survivor and use the code SURVIVOR for free shipping. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this podcast.
Any fool can climb a wall or crawl through sand, but as every fan knows, Survivor challenges are won or lost at the puzzle. The most successful players are puzzle masters, and you can be one too. Fair play. Perplexers Puzzles creates handmade miniature replicas of many of Survivor's greatest and most challenging puzzles. Find out if you have what it takes by visiting the Perplexers Puzzle store on Etsy or simply visiting survivorpuzzle.com. Enter promo code FAIRPLAY, FAIRPLAY, at checkout for a 10% discount. And let me tell you, I'm hanging out on my patio on these beautiful summer nights. I have Zach Hacker coming over to my house, and we did the fire puzzle, the season 40 puzzle. I got the tree puzzle, and Zach was like, dude, these things are fucking awesome. So if you are a fan of Survivor, as Zach is, and I know he has a true, authentic Survivor puzzle that I have personally done, these Perplexers puzzles are the real deal. So go to survivorpuzzle.com right now, enter promo code FAIRPLAY at checkout for a 10% discount, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
So you show up for Heroes Villains. Did you have a pregame alliance?
I did not, because I thought it's so situational. Like, at least in my opinion, it's like, you don't know how anyone is going to act or what the situation is going to be. And I would rather pick when I get there and then see who's acting shady. Because it's like, if you attach yourself to someone and then they're in a bad spot, well, now you're in a bad spot, you know?
Yeah. I had for fans versus favorites, I had a pregame alliance with Pinner, Eliza, and Yowman, and that sucked right out of the gate. Eliza was cool, but Pinner and Yowman sucked. And then I was on the cast of Heroes Villains up until 2 weeks before you guys left. So the original cast that was slated to go out included me and Richard Hatch. And rumor and innuendo is Hatch wasn't allowed to leave the country. And as a result, they picked a cast that didn't include Richard Hatch, but also didn't include me. Like, they had a cast that, had Hatch and me. But if he's not there, then this person's not there. And if that person's not there, this person. So anyway, so the one that the cast without Hatch didn't have me. So I got a call 2 weeks before we were about to leave. And they're like, Lynn's like, this is the worst phone call I've ever had to make. I'm like, not funny, Lynn. No one's laughing here. And so, but I had a pregame alliance with, I think Randy and Coach going out there.
They had one against me.
Yeah. Well, I think I would have been the bridge to that.
Wait, Johnny.
Yeah. Well, we met. We might not have met until the Heroes Villains finale. Actually, I think was the first.
That might be true, but I'm not sure. I think maybe I met you before, because I think I met you at the finale for the Brazil one, for the Tocantins one that was in.
Oh yeah, okay. I was at the Tocantins finale. Okay, that's where I met you.
With his ex-boyfriend, and so that's why I was there.
That's right. I did meet you there. So yeah, I would have bridged that deal. I mean, because if you and Coach would not have made amends at some point, then we would not be talking about the Dragonz after we're done with this Heroes Villains discussion. So get ready. But so no alliance. I'm with I feel, or I have felt in the past, that a pregame alliance is a smart thing to do. But it doesn't matter how well you know someone outside the game. Inside the game, they're different. Like, you know, like it's like you can meet just like, as I said, I thought Pinner was cool. Like, let's start with Yao Man. So I meet, you know, I talked to Yao Man before the game. I think he's awesome. Then we go out there and just like, Yao Man, so what do you like to do for fun? And he was just like, I don't talk during Survivor. This is work. And I just talk strategy and I don't talk personal. After the game, we talk personal. And I'm like, this is the worst alliance of all time. And then 3 minutes later, Penner pulls me in the woods. He was like, you're doing what I say. I call the shots. That's how this is going to go. And I'm like, I stand corrected. This is the worst alliance I've ever been.
Yeah. No.
I mean, we don't know because, you know, people living in the conditions of Survivor, you know, changes, you know, like, you know, there's a game for $1 million. There's suffering there, you know, there's all these things that, you know, the person that, you know, on a brief light encounter there, you know, you get the highlight reel but, you know, with Survivor, you get the bloopers, which, you know, 9 times out of 10 suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I also think it's different. I mean, maybe it's different now because I think now it just goes faster, but it's also like, just, you know, exactly what you're saying. You have to see what people are like when they're there. And it's like, because then it's not just you're not making an alliance with one person. It's like, well, then who are they with?
Yeah. Like, why do their friends suck? Like, I thought they were cool, but their friends appear to be pretty shitty.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, it's like, what? So it's, I don't know. I thought it was better to just stay out of it.
I think you're right. I think it was a smart move.
Now, did you go into your second time playing, Courtney? Like the first time, you're like, I don't give a shit, blah, blah, blah. The second time,
I know I'm at least getting 10,000, not 1,000.
Yeah, are you going in with a different mindset? Like, I want to win this game this time, or are you still like, free vacation?
I mean, isn't it cool that the answer is no? I didn't really care the second time either.
That's the cool answer. But what's the real answer?
I mean, I was like, they wanted me to, and I felt like, you know, this was fun. Like to have done it was fun, and it's like to say thank you. Like, yeah, okay, I'll go back and I'm gonna have a good time. And honestly, it was it was like one of the best things because the experience in China left me with a decent amount of like PTSD, you know, from like the whole experience. And so to go and just do it again, where it was like you kind of see all the strings moving and like nobody feels like I never felt like my life was in danger. So
we'll subtract the poisonous snakes every 12 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it was a much more like, you know, lighthearted experience. And maybe that's not typical of most people who are taking it more seriously, but I thought it was a lot more fun because I thought like, you know, once you have people out there that have been playing like, you know, 3 times, 4 times, it's just like, this will be over in a week. We'll all be friends at the party, whatever. Fuck you, you know? Like, you know, you're like, nothing matters. This is like...
So, Courtney, did you go back and watch a lot of Survivor before Heroes versus Villains, or were there people out there that you didn't know who they were?
No, I didn't know. But, you know, the thing is, I knew who most of the people were because of Todd. So I learned a lot of Survivor history playing Survivor the first time because Todd was an encyclopedia. He knew everything. And so he would, like, explain it. And then I was like, okay, I follow. And then we started doing, like, the little charity events and whatnot. So we met everyone. And then Todd knows every person who's ever played. And so it was a really wonderful experience because people would like, you know, be somewhere and he'd be like, oh, so-and-so from this season. And I was just like the sidekick. I'm like, yes. And now I'm your friend too. I also know who you are.
I also know who you are by hearing your name 4 seconds ago.
Like, this is this person. Get the cheese. So I like, that's kind of how I knew. So I knew most people, if not, I didn't watch them, but I knew them by reputation. You know, like I knew enough to know, like, you know, and then
they're dangerous. They're stupid.
Yeah, and then, but also like you guys, you know, I worked. My first job was I worked for Virgin Atlantic Airways when I was a teenager. So I processed 400 people a night at the airport, and then I was a waitress in New York. I was a tour guide. I've always worked with people, so it's like I can kind of read people pretty well. It's like, you know, Evil Dick. He was ran nightclubs all through like forever. He knows what everyone's going to do. You know, it's like you deal with that many people, you can't help but sort of just like figure out and predict what people like. Given this set of parameters, the likely choices are 1, 2, and 3. Now add in this filter, they'll probably do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can always pretty much guess. And so you can choose which people line up with you for whatever situation, you know?
So you had not met nor possibly even heard of Russell, right? Before you went out there? Yeah.
No, we didn't know. But I could tell that there was something because the production was being super creepy about it. And they're like, what do you think of that guy? And I'm like, the dude in the K-Fed hat, remember the years here? And they were like, oh, and I was like, oh, you want me to make fun of him? Okay. And I was like, great. And then it made me like not want to do it because I was like, ew, gross. It's like when your parents are like, go sing for these people. And you're like, nope.
Oh, you caved real quick. Don't worry.
I mean, I wasn't even trying that hard. But yeah,
it's low hanging fruit.
Yeah, it's like too easy, you know. But yeah, Russell.
I'm Russell Hands. John, the game is flawed.
The little like paths and stuff that goes to like the 4 places that exist in the woods, and then he would just come crashing out of like a border wall with like. You're like, what? There's nothing there. What were you doing? But like he was just like invisible chaos, you know? Like he just ran around. It was really, and he was the first, I think, like really like new type player.
Yeah. He considers himself the originator of the new school.
I might agree with that though. Do you know what I mean? Like
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I mean, I thought the old school game was better, but
that's the one that I know how to do this now. I'm like, what do you have to do? There's like 17 steps.
I mean, did you watch season 40, Winners at War?
So here's the thing, you guys. I watched the first couple episodes and then I kind of, COVID and New York and I gotcha.
Did you catch the end?
No. But I read it on Twitter. I know what happened.
Sandra won.
Third time.
Yep. Third time's a charm.
So
it was pretty.
How do you think you would do if you played again?
Run. She 8 immunities in a row.
Like if you were to play again, do you think that you could adapt to the new school style of playing?
I don't know because it depends on the cast. Because it's like if it was people from my era, like if Johnny's there and like Eliza and those people, would probably I'd be better. The new seasons, like with all of to me it seems more like video gamey. Like there's like just so many little like here do this and move this and it's like to make fire. It's all this like random stuff where it's like it used to be. Now I'm my grandma, speech here, but it used to be like it was a microcosm and it was based like the result of the little world dictated who won it, and like there were repercussions to your actions. So if you were like Russell, nobody likes you, you're not going to win, right? Mm-hmm. Now because of all of the tricks and loopholes and it's like that none of that matters. You don't need to have the majority. You don't need to like really play people the same way. Like the game is sort of like left to building with humans, and now it's more like seems to me. It's like, because it's a little like, even as a viewer, I'm confused sometimes by what's going on, and I'm like, wow, I did this 2 times and I have no idea what's going on.
Well, the fact they have to put shit at the bottom of the screen to explain to you what's going on, like that, I think that's a tell. But like, I'm of the argument, and you could be with me or against me on this. Let's just say that season, perhaps even 41 or 42 or something in the distant future of Survivor is a old school versus new school season. So unlike Survivor season 40 Winners at War, in which there were 12 new schoolers and only 8 old schoolers, even the odds 10 versus 10. I'm of the belief and mindset that if the game is even, if the decks are laid out the same, equal number of people, I feel that the old school Survivor takes over and the game morphs back into that game, because I just feel that the way we played was more. It's a socially based game in which daily interaction controls more than the other bullshit. And I think if we're there to socially interact with the new school players, that they'll fall back into our game.
But do you think that as young people that they even understand that type of game?
I think they'll be tricked into it.
I don't think so. I think that
You think they'll just be like tunnel vision, turn left, put the piece here, call it a fucking day, because they don't have the ability to play the social game.
I do think it's a little bit of a cultural shift, and there's no judgment in that. Like they're a different generation. They're younger people. Yeah. First of all, if I had to go play again with these young people, I would I don't know. I'd have to.
I think the young people think you're cool. I mean, like I had a 12-year-old tonight telling me that you're the coolest survivor of all time.
All right, so I'll bring Piper with me. She'll be my loved
She can be your loved one. She's already said she would sabotage me on a loved one's challenge. So she would try harder with you. So there's that. So, all right, another quick question before we let you go. I don't know what your friendship with Parvati is. Mine is non-existent. However, I personally feel that for me, as a viewer, I wasn't out there. I felt that Parvati played the best U.S. game of Survivor by a single person on a single season that I'd ever seen on Heroes Villains up until season 40. So where are you? I don't remember how your vote, if you went Sandra or if you went, I know you didn't go Russell, but where do you rank Parvati's Heroes Villains game?
I mean, she got second place. She did the same as me. I also got second place.
Yeah.
Like I voted for Sandra. And because that is the classic example of 2 and 1. They left or open for Sandra, and all the heroes were bitter Bettys, and they did not like Russell, and none of the villains liked Russell either. So the villains all voted for Parvati. I voted for Sandra, and I got the heroes to do it too. You want to know why? She's got kids, blah blah blah. But they should have. If Parvati wanted to win, she should have kept Russell on the leash, and then had Danielle, right? Because then that would have been a 3. And out of
the same, 3 of the same, and she wins.
Everyone would have picked Parvati because Danielle was like the sidekick.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Russell was the mean guy. But it's like by switching her out and putting in someone who was totally against them, that was a flaw in the game. That was news. And she knew that. She knew that was bad news. But Russell thought no one would vote for Sandra. But it's like she's, U.S.
She's different.
She's, so she won, And I got... And I helped that.
Yeah. That's how Survivor works. Courtney's best friend wins every time.
Yeah. Every time I play, my person wins.
So do you consider Parvati's game one of the greatest games out there, or do you think that in flawed just diminishes it too much?
I mean, I don't subscribe to the idea of a best game. There's everyone's game is what it is. And it's you all know there's so many things that go into stuff, and you can't judge anything. It's what makes her game better than someone else or whatever. It's there's so many sides to everything. And I also think that whoever wins won. Part of the game is you got to win over the jury. That's part of the game. And I remember saying to Amalatsi Hoover, one of the production people, because I was I'm voting for Sandra, and they're oh, and I was I know you don't like it, but it's your fucking game, and you put me on it, and I did my part, and I get to vote. So that's what I'm voting for.
That's badass. You're just telling it like it is.
But so the players in the game get to pick the winner, and no matter what everyone else thinks about it, that's it. You should have done it differently then.
Right. Yeah. Now let's talk about Coach and Zach. Bring us into this one.
Well, Dalton Ross recently, for anyone who has not checked this out, has done an oral history of the Dragonz band, which I believe the original lineup is Coach, Courtney, and J.T.
Yep.
I believe you guys have recently released a new single. Can you just tell us a little bit about the band, where it came from, and what your experience was like?
So let's bring it back to 2009 and Samoa, right? So Coach got voted out first in the jury, then it was me, and then JT, and then they had Rock Band, the video game that Coach and JT were playing, and then I sang for them because they were to get past a level, and I'm actually pretty decent at that game.
Yeah.
And then I turned into the whole thing because they couldn't use us because of the songs were licensed. So then Norwood, the producer, was like, oh, well, we can write our own songs. So him and Coach wrote all these songs. And then we started like, I'm here to make fun of stuff, right? So like, I was like, oh, we made this like mythology of this band, and then they actually like recorded it. And then I was like, oh no, this is all right. So then we have like all these songs. Then we made a video, and like it just became this like goofy thing that we all did, and it just kind of kept getting bigger and bigger. And then so then Dalton resurrected it for the quarantine, and he reached out to me really early in April, and he was like, hey, I hope you're okay. I'm going to do this thing because nothing's going on. And, who should I talk to? And I was like, you need to talk to Norwood. Like, he's the guy who like did this whole thing. And then part of it too was like, oh, we're going to do a new song. And I was like, oh God. So have you heard the new song? It is.
I have not listened to it yet. I need to check it out.
Yeah, I didn't know. I wasn't aware. Like I I read the article. I didn't see the where there was the new song.
Next week it came up the next week, and they're like, "Oh, new song from the Dragonz." And it's like one of those things where I really had to take a look at myself, and I'm like, "Are you going to start being embarrassed by this now?" Nope, not today. Let's just do it. So I was like,
"Oh, I love it." Oh. We'll put a link below this on the description so everyone else can see the video as well. I'm so excited.
I am too.
And Courtney, what is your go-to karaoke song since you're the singer here?
I mean, I don't really participate in karaoke, but I guess I don't know. I don't think
I'm the same way. Like I sing in multiple bands, but I have never in my life done karaoke at a karaoke bar.
Well, I'm guessing Courtney's done karaoke. She just doesn't have a go-to.
No, my position is to make fun of other people.
Oh, yeah. So you don't bother doing karaoke?
I just sit on the side and make fun of the people that are doing it.
Oh, wow.
That's better.
Professional peanut gallery.
So what's next for Courtney Yates? Are you, if you got called again to play another Survivor season, are you retired or would you go back out?
If you see me, they have given me all my demands.
so you're coming in with a rider, is what you're saying?
Yeah, very highly, just like the most excessive. Yeah. So if you ever see me, just know.
Yeah, if we know your plan, we're like, okay, she got some good coin to come out here and play again.
Well, I'm going. If I were to return, I'm not doing the pregame alliance route. However, I would like some of your red M&Ms, and I would like to share a pillow with you.
Okay.
That's. I don't know what I'm bringing to the table, but I would like half of your lace pillow you're bringing with you, and your red and 4 red M&Ms, please.
Yep.
So awesome. And finally, Courtney, what are you up to these days, and where can fans find you if they want to track you down?
I'm just living my best quarantine life here in Lower Manhattan. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. If you really need to find me, I mean, it's pretty much the same.
It's just Courtney.
The tweets are good.
Yeah.
Just hanging out. I mean, we and Johnny are supporting Eliza in her campaign for Manhattan DA. So, I'm always here to promote her for that. It should be excellent. I have, I'm a massage therapist, so my entire career has been just like squashed by COVID. So I'm just, hanging out.
This is something I've wondered for a while. You randomly, if not you, Dave Navarro posts pictures of you and him together whenever. So, where did that friendship come from? So
he hosts that tattoo show, right? So he was binge watching.
Corey Hart.
The what?
Who did you say? Sorry, wait.
Dave.
Dave did the yeah. He hosted. Yeah.
So
okay.
He used to watch like in between. He was like he binge watches TV shows, right? Like everybody else at Netflix. So he was watching a bunch of old Survivor seasons and got back to Heroes and Villains, and then like his manager, this girl Jamie, he was like, he was laughing. He's like, "Oh my God, that blonde girl," and she's like, "Just go be her friend. that's someone you know, go be friends with her. And so he like slid in the DMs and, you know, and I was like, what? Why is this happening? But he's really, really, really funny. And he's like, he was like at the time sort of a diehard Survivor fan, but only from 20 on. He didn't like watch, so he didn't even watch China. You know, he didn't watch anywhere. Like he only watched the newer ones. But he shoots in Jersey sometimes. So like he was here before COVID. He was around sometimes. So like he was a fan of mine from television.
That's super cool.
That's so crazy. One of my favorite tweet responses ever. Like Dave wrote, he's like, favorite vinyl record cover ever, go. And I posted I have the Twist of Fate soundtrack with like John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John like shirtless, like, you know, it's this open double album bifold thing, and he was like, winner, done. Johnny Fairplay.
Did he really? That's awesome.
Yeah. So yes, in case you're wondering, the greatest album cover ever, the Twist of Fate soundtrack with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, according to Dave Navarro, is number one.
He's a very funny person. And then also when I first got to know him, he was like, come on, me and you, blood versus water. We're going to play. I was like, I will play with you. So that would be what, if we got to go together, I would play just to put his dumb ass on that show. It would be hilarious. I'm like,
well, let's see it. If anyone's listening from casting, I want to see that shit. I love it. Well, Courtney, thank you so much for coming on. This has been a real treat and a cool, just behind the scenes. I mean, like I said, Johnny, I mean, we've interviewed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Your attitude about this whole thing is one of my favorites of all time. So thank you so much. And
thank you for letting me see what my daughter will be like in 15 years. So
yeah, if she ever needs a pep talk, if she needs me to beat anyone up, I'll give her the best advice that I can give, you know?
I love it. As I said, I like my shoes are, my feet are a little bit smaller tonight after showing Piper your highlights. So I'm in awe. I'm in envy. You are the elite.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. Right back at you. Thank you guys for having me. It's been lovely.
Yeah, if you guys want to see all the other content that we have, go to survivornsfw.com. You can find out how to be a patron there. JohnnyFairplay.com. We got all kinds of awesome t-shirts, especially right now our friend Sunday Berquist is battling cancer, and we have the Sunday School Cancer and other shirts that Figgy has been a part of, and the money that from those t-shirts sold go directly to Sunday. So support her in her journey right now.
Links to everything at survivornsfw.com. And so, yeah, please get yourself a Sunday t-shirt, and also become a patron. As I said, you get impromptu phone calls to Todd Herzog checking on miscarriages. So there's that.
That's right.
And we also have lots of fun bonus content. You can watch we're watching The Scorned with myself, Zach, and Eric Middleman, the producer and writer of The Scorned. So that the hit film with all your favorite reality stars from the hit TV show Kill Reality, and lots of other exclusive stuff there. Once again, best way to support the podcast, definitely go to patreon.com/survivornsfw, but you can find the link at survivornsfw.com.
And now we'll take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors.
Summer is in full action, and we are thankful for our sponsor today, Manscaped, for keeping us fresh. Sun's out, bums out. That's right, we're talking butts. And hopefully not your pubes are out. Manscaped offers all the right tools to keep your hair groomed above and below the belt. Oh my God, I was at the pool the other day, and there was one of the moms nearby, and she walked by, very friendly lady, and I'm just staring at what appears to be Chewbacca and a headlock on each side of her thighs. Like I think Kurt Angle had the scissor hold around Chewie there. And I was like, oh my God, you need to learn about Manscaped. Why is that? Because Manscaped is dedicated to helping you level up your full body grooming game. They actually just released their Shears 2.0 nail kit, which is the perfect add-on to their Lawnmower 3.0 or Perfect package. The Shears 2.0 is a luxury 4-piece nail kit featuring tempered stainless steel tools, and it includes slashed, tipped tweezers, rounded point scissors, fingernail clippers, and a medium grit nail file. You're probably wearing flip-flops. Boom, take a look right here as we speak, and people don't want to see those nasty unclipped toes of yours. No one likes an ungroomed set of feet, fingers, and most importantly, balls. That's why they have forever changed the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0. Tell them, Zach.
The Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with the essential Lawnmower 3.0 water-resistant cordless body trimmer and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. This is the best trimmer on the market for those of you in need of a chest shave or a ball cleanup. The third generation trimmer features skin-safe technology to reduce manscaping accidents. Inside the Perfect Package, you'll also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, because we know how painful chafing can be when you're wearing your bathing suit all day. Yeah. You'll also find the Crop Reviver, a testy toner that's designed to give you a pep in your step. Subscribe to the Perfect Package and get a new blade refill for your lawnmower trimmer delivered to your door every 3 months. For a limited time, subscribers will also get 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, a $39 value add, and the patented high-performance, reduced-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. And let me tell you, they're comfortable as hell. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job.
That's right. Get 20% off and free shipping with code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. That's manscaped.com. Use promo code SURVIVOR. Summer is here. It's time to manscape. Summer here. It's crazy hot outside, and after a few minutes, I feel exhausted and I'm ready for a nap. What? I'm 46 years old. I can't be taking naps. Between the sun beating down and the heat and humidity, dehydration kicks in fast. Hydrant is your key to getting back up and running more quickly than ever before.
Hydrant created a refreshing electrolyte powder that you mix directly into water to efficiently and effectively hydrate your body. It hydrates you quickly and keeps you going for longer. Each rapid hydration mix has the 4 essential electrolytes your body needs: sodium, potassium, magnesium, and zinc, and it packs a punch to help your body hydrate fast and to stay hydrated. And if you're looking for an extra boost of energy, man, like in Survivor when we're doing challenges, I wish we had Hydrant, dude, because Hydrant contains Hydrant plus caffeine, 100 milligrams of caffeine from green tea. And you know what? It's backed by research. This formula was developed by an Oxford scientist. It is also loved by pro athletes, top performers, celebrities, and has thousands of 5-star reviews. It's made with real fruit juice powder. It's delicious and refreshing and comes in a variety of flavors, including new summer-friendly iced tea lemonade and fruit punch. Damn, that just makes me want to down these things right now. Plus, it's backed by 100% satisfaction guarantee. You guys, if you don't love it, send it back for a full refund. You really need to try it for yourself to see what I'm talking about. It tastes incredible and it works. So Johnny, this thing, the Hydrant starts at just $1 a packet for a 30-day supply. Save even more with a monthly subscription.
So while I'm preparing for a half marathon at the end of the summer, I'm running 3 to 10 miles every day. I was doing just the water. I was trying the water and other stuff. Boom, added Hydrant to my life. My run times are going down faster. I'm in a tennis league every Saturday morning. I tried Hydrant for the first time, did the blood orange, loved it, won for the first time. Usually I'm getting whooped by these other people. Not so fast. I took my Hydrant. I was ready to go. cannot prove that this is scientifically a fact that will make you a greater tennis player, but looking at Johnny Fairplay, it does. I am an exceptional player when I got my hydrant in me, and I can't wait to have that hydrant power me through these next few weeks going to that half marathon in Asheville, North Carolina. So we've got a special deal, Zach. Tell them all about it. Where can they save?
If they go to drinkhydrant.com/survivor and enter our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout, they're going to save 25% off their first order. So again, that's drinkhydrant.com/survivor and enter the promo code SURVIVOR.
That's drinkhydrant.com/survivor. Promo code SURVIVOR for 25% off your first order. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Oh, man, do I. I've been taking 4 or 5 Blue Chews just to get up in the morning. I use it. Remember when what's it called on a bike? The kickstand? Mm-hmm. I have my own kickstand thanks to Blue Chew. Thanks, guys. Well, you at home can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed just like me. Listen up. Blue Chew, BLUECHEW.com. That's blue like the color blue.
Blue Chew brings you guys the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises. If you could benefit from extra function and more confidence where it counts in the wiener area, Blue Chew is a fast and easy way to enhance your performance. And Blue Chew is prescribed online, shipped straight to your door in a discreet package, so no in-person doctor visits, no waiting in the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness.
They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our promo code SURVIVOR. Just pay $5 shipping. Again, that's BLUEChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR, and you can try it completely for free. Just pay for shipping. Blue Chew's the better, cheaper, fastest choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast.
Man, these guys are great. BlueChew.com is kind of like a Hurt Peter. They're hard to beat. Courtney Yates, you are a legend. You are beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing your stories, your time, and your beautiful face.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. Always one of my favorites.
Oh, that's awesome.
You guys too.
Yep, awesome to meet you. And we'll see you guys next week on Survivor NSFW. Cheers, everybody.